Hello, everybody, and welcome to the podcast. I am so thrilled that you're here today. Today, we're going to be talking about thyroid and metabolism myths. This is part of the Hormone Whisperer series that I am doing. I believe we're in the middle. I think we only have this episode and maybe one or two more. So if you've missed the ones before that, go back and listen to them. I've been doing series this year. That's something fresh and new for the podcast. So, if you have been listening to this series, then you know that we're not doing surface level weight loss nonsense stuff here, right? We're not chasing quick fixes and we're not reducing our body to just calories and workouts. And we're definitely not labeling our body as broken. So, I am Nikki T. I am a weight loss and mindset coach, a behavioral coach, someone who recently got certified as a mental well-being for fitness professionals. And mental well-being, that can't be the right title, but it is about mental health. So if you want to find out, go check out my about page at weightlossforwomenover40.net/about. You can find all kinds of things about my life and my past and what I've done and all that stuff. So if you're curious, go ahead there. But as someone who is over 40, I am in my 50s and really understands the body and how to really create lasting weight loss, I'm so glad you're here. And we're not talking about dieting, right? I am so dieter's mentality is out. We don't want that, right? And we don't want to obsess about our foods. We don't want to obsess about what we're doing, our body, our life, all the things, right? Also been there, done that. And without really fighting yourself every step of the way. I get it. I really get it. But I promise you, there is a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow of the weight loss journey when you understand how your body works and how your mind works and how this all fits in together. So, again, this is part of the Hormone Whisper series where we stop guessing and we start listening. And I want to take a moment to really thank all of you who have grabbed my Stop Starting Over Reset ebook and have been messaging me about not only how much you love the ebook, but how much this podcast has impacted your life. And this is my free stuff, right? You can get my free stuff also on Instagram. I do a ton of reels. So go follow me over there, Weight Loss for Women Over 40, same handle. And you can also follow me on Facebook at my personal page, which is Nicole Ternay, NicoleTernay. Also putting out lots of things there. That's my free stuff. Gladly give it away. But can you imagine the impact that you would have if you were in one of my other programs? I don't always talk about all the ways that you can get help from me in the podcast. Like you'll hear me say bits and pieces. So I thought I'd take a moment and really give you a rundown of what's available for you. I do have a brand new program that is coming out very soon called How to Rebuild Your Trust with Food. And if you have dieted a lot over the years, then your trust is broken with yourself and with food. So this is something I want you to put a pin in and get on the wait list for. And it's going to be super helpful to you. I am also going to be announcing a Crush Your Craving workshop. I love my Crush Your Craving workshop. It is so much fun. Um, and it's happening soon. So if you are somebody who has a lot of cravings or you emotionally eat and you're struggling, you are definitely going to want to get in and attend this event because it's not like normal, just knit instead of eat. No, this is all, if you know me, you know I don't do that stuff anymore. It's mindset work. And I don't even want to say work, it's just mindset. It's a way of looking at cravings and emotional eating in a totally different way that you probably have never seen before. So you're going to want to attend that event. Also in the fall, I will be running my Jumpstart program where I teach you exactly how to lose weight. This is a small group program, and the average client that has gone through it has lost 17 pounds in 12 weeks. And I know it is not about the pounds, but I know you like hearing that. So it is definitely a totally different Jumpstart program, weight loss program than you probably have ever been exposed to. If you want to learn my proven weight loss method, it's called Master Your Mind to Change Your Body. This is my foundational work, and I use it inside my private coaching and in the Jumpstart program, but you can also now learn it in a self-paced version. Going forward in 2027, can't believe that's happening next year. So we're talking about a year from now. I will be hosting a retreat. I have been jonesing to host a retreat for years now, and I cannot wait for the group that is going to attend the retreat that I have planned for next year. So I am super excited about that. More will be coming out about that. So if you're a retreat person and you want to be come into my world on a very private and exclusive level, definitely look into the retreat. In the meantime, just as a side note, some behind the scenes stuff that I am working on. I am starting to be in the process of co-authoring a book with a bunch of amazing other women that is coming out in the fall. And I'm also in the works of writing a book about my weight loss method. Now, if you know, I actually have authored a book already. It's a cookbook. If you're really detective like, you can find it on Amazon, but I want to discourage you from actually getting it. Yes, I'm discouraging you from buying a book from me because it has some dieter's mentality stuff still in it. So when I did it, I was actually on the tail end of the dieter's mentality. The cookbook came out in 2020. I took advantage of COVID in that time and created the cookbook. I had had all the recipes and I compiled them in. And at that moment, I was still kind of dabbling in the dieter's mentality stuff. Like I had tweaked some of it, but I still want to go and clean it up for you guys. And yeah, so the cookbook doesn't align with a lot of what I feel I do now. Kind of like my old podcast. So again, this podcast has been around. I started it right before COVID. So that January, I guess 2020, 2019, whenever it actually hit, was when I started this podcast. But you may not find all those episodes because I pulled them because I don't feel like it's aligned with what I'm doing now. And I don't want somebody to go and listen to one of those podcasts and be very confused about what I'm talking about. Now, I'm sure if you want to go Google and search, I'm sure you can find them on YouTube. If you really want to dive into past podcasts of mine, go for it. And you can see the evolution of how I came about. But anyway, so the cookbook is not aligned with what I'm doing, but it is still available on Amazon. I am going to pull it at some point, but if you want to go grab it right now, feel free. But I kind of want to discourage you from that. So, that is what I've been up to. That is your update on what is going on weight loss for women over 40. And all the links that I mentioned will be in the show notes, but you can also go to weightlossforwomenover40.net directly, and all the information is on the website. Okay, I'm going to get a sip of water because I feel like I've been talking forever. And we're going to dive into the topic today. So, today we're talking about thyroid and metabolism. And I want to start off in this particular place because this is where a lot of women kind of mentally check out. And it's that moment in your weight loss journey when weight loss starts feeling really hard, right? You have your, usually when you first start in, you've got this like 1, 2, 3 week honeymoon phase, right? And then stuff starts getting hard. And you think it might be your thyroid, your metabolism is slowing down because, of course, you're over 40, right? That's what we just assume. And by the way, the stats for your metabolism decreasing, yes, it does decline as we get older, but not as significantly as the news makes it out to be. You could also be thinking, my body just doesn't work the same way it used to. And listen, maybe that's possible. Maybe there's some things. Obviously, we're not 20 anymore. We're not 15-year-olds, right? We don't have that body. But that doesn't mean that you can't be the best physical version of yourself that you are in whatever age you are. And, sometimes there are legitimate thyroid conditions. I'm not discounting that. But that's not what I want to talk about today. I am talking about the autopilot thoughts that run rampant in our head that your body is defective or there's something specifically wrong with you. Hello, snowflake syndrome, special snowflake syndrome, and that weight loss can't happen for you because of XYZ. When in reality, your brain is just offering up some solutions, just some thoughts. Your brain is on constant alert to problem solve for you. So if you give it a problem, it's going to do its best to figure it out, whether the information is 100% accurate or not. And it's always, always based on your beliefs and your patterns. So let's break the biggest myth right away. Chances are your metabolism is not broken. And what is going on with your metabolism is that it's responding to your life, your thoughts, and your beliefs. Your thyroid doesn't randomly decide to slow down and work against you. It adjusts based on the environment it's in. And that environment isn't just about food. It's stress, it's pressure, it's how consistent you are, it's your energy, availability, and your nervous system state. So when someone says, I have a slow metabolism, what they often actually have is a body that has learned to conserve. Because your body's perspective, like from your body's perspective, if there is inconsistency, if there is stress in your life, if there is a pattern of restriction followed by overcompensation, hello, emotional eating, binge eating, why would it speed things up? It wouldn't. That would be very inefficient of your body. So instead, it adapts. It becomes more efficient with less. It holds on to energy longer. It reduces your output where it can, not to sabotage you, but to protect and preserve you. Remember, your body is like a machine that is doing everything possible to keep you alive and to survive. So imagine when your iPhone battery starts to die, what does it do? It goes into low battery mode and only uses the most vital systems to keep the phone alive until it can recharge. Your body is doing the same thing. And this is where the thyroid gets pulled into the conversation. Because yes, the thyroid plays a role in regulating metabolism. But what's missing from most conversations is the thyroid is not the boss. The thyroid is just a messenger. It responds to signals from your brain, from your environment, from the patterns that you keep repeating. So if your body is getting the signal, we're under pressure, energy might not be consistent right now. We need to be efficient. We need to lock down essentially, right? I was like, imagine are these red lights flashing like you see in the movie where, the submarine's about to like implode or something. You shut things down, right? Your thyroid does the same and it adjusts accordingly. So the issue isn't thyroid function, it's the message your body keeps receiving. And this is where you guys get stuck because you try to override your body. You try to push through it. You're just going to do more workouts. You're just going to gruel and grind some more. You're going to eat way less food. You're going to try and control every aspect of this weight loss process, thinking that it's going to fix your metabolism. But what it actually does is it reinforces the very signal that slowed things down in the first place, which is we're not safe to expend energy freely. So your body, again, doubles down on efficiency. This is why you can feel like you're doing everything right and still not see any changes. Because your body is not responding to what you want, it's responding to what it perceives. And perception is built through patterns, not one week you're doing a great job. I don't even like to say a great job. One day, you're on track, that kind of thing. It's consistency. It's what you're being consistent with your body over time. And here's the fun part, right? Really look at your life and see what you're actually really consistent at. Okay. A lot of us want, like when clients come in to work with me, they want to be very consistent with their workouts. They want to be very consistent with certain aspects of their life. But I want you to look at your life currently and what are you really consistent at? Are you consistent at watching TV for 4 hours at night? Are you consistent at constantly like eating past your fullness? Are you constantly emotionally eating? Are you constantly berating yourself? Are you constantly obsessing, right? Being consistent in these areas can be very eye-opening. And again, there is no judgment whatsoever because I have been there on many of these things that we are talking about, let me tell you. And when you flip it around and look at, instead of what are the things that you want to be consistent at, start looking at the things that you are currently consistent at. Are you currently consistent at pushing your workout off and procrastinating day after day after day? Again, no judgment, but start looking at your life that way and you'll understand what you truly value and what is important in your life. Again, no judgment. But again, this is the work that we do. This is the patterns that you have developed, the belief systems. And I get it. It can be challenging. It can be hard. It is challenging to be a version of yourself currently and want to be another version and to make that leap, that gap jump can be challenging because you feel like you're being fake. You feel like it's not you and there's this whole like fraud kind of stuff and then you keep reverting back to your old patterns. This is the stuff I work on with my clients. That in between gap stuff, that's what we work on. So instead of asking, how do I speed up my metabolism? Start asking yourself, why has my body learned to slow things down? That question and looking at what you're consistently doing on a regular basis will change so much for you because it's not about blaming your body. We are working on understanding it. And yes, we can understand your body on a general physiological and psychological basis, but you are not me. I am not you. We are unique in ourselves. This is where the special snowflake part comes in the sense of like, there's only one you. You have had specific experiences throughout your life. You have specific thoughts. You have specific beliefs that you have and no one else has your combination. Can you imagine the combination of all the things that have happened to your life? No one has that, right? Right? So like if you know those spy movies where they're trying to figure out the code to open the vault, right? And it could be like 49,000 variations. That's you, right? To crack your code, there are like gazillions of combinations of what has happened to you over your life to create the version of you that you operate from now. So in order for you to operate at a different level, we need to crack the code of what's going on now, the current you, so you can fill in that gap, make that leap into that person that you want to become. So here are some patterns to start noticing. Are you inconsistent with how you listen and fuel your body? Do you swing between being really good and then really bad or completely off, fell off the wagon, whatever you want to call it? By the way, if you haven't heard me say this already, there is no wagon to fall off on. No wagon. You just made a choice. Are your workouts supportive or are they another form of stress for you? Now, don't use this against yourself and be like, yes, my workouts are stressful, trying to figure out how to fit them in and get there. Don't do that to yourself. Right? Your workouts, are you punishing yourself or are you doing it because it feels amazing in your body? Or because I get it when especially if you're first starting out or if you've been off for a while, those first workouts suck. They're not fun at all. I get it. It's like, oh my gosh, that day one over and over is like an awful Groundhog Day. But a lot of times when you do it, you feel better at the end. So it's like, are you punishing yourself? Or are you doing it because you want to have the body that can support the things that you love doing? Like playing pickleball, like running around with your grandkids, or playing with your kids, or whatever it is that lights you up, or walking in Europe and seeing all the sights, right? There's a lot of women that I have coached over the years who that's one of their dreams is to just go on a walking tour and not feel like they're the slow one. They're the what is it called? The weak link, right? The one that's slowing everyone down from enjoying the views. And I feel for you, but it doesn't have to be that way. It does not have to be that way. Another question you can ask yourself is, do you spend most of your day in urgency or pressure? Are you stressed out beyond belief, right? Are you constantly putting out fires? Chances are, if you're putting out fires, other than if you're a firefighter, I have to throw that in there. Generally speaking, we're usually putting out fires for other people that can put out their own fires. It's my little soapbox talk for today. Um, when you're sending all those signals, whether it's stress, whether it's inconsistency, whether it's pressure, whether it's punishment yourself, berating yourself, the inner critic chatter that's going on in your head, your thyroid is listening. Your whole body is listening, right? So metabolism is not just about burning more. It's about your body feeling safe enough to use energy. Remember, your body wants to protect it. And if it feels like there's a stressor in your life, the saber-toothed tiger, the winter where you're not going to be able to hunt and gather, it will conserve energy. And that safety doesn't come from control. It really comes from consistency, right? Consistency in how you nourish yourself, how you take care of your body, how you talk to yourself, how you move, how you think, how you feel, how you react, how you respond to yourself, and how you respond to others. And here's what I want you to leave with. Your body is not resisting weight loss. It's resisting unpredictability. And once that starts to stabilize, your body doesn't need to hold on as tightly. That's when things start to shift, not by force, not by suck it up, buttercup, but naturally. So, if this episode made you realize that there's more to this whole weight loss thing than food and exercise, and that just maybe your body isn't messed up, and maybe it's just been adapting this whole time, this is exactly the work I do inside my proven weight loss method. We don't just look at food. Actually, we don't really talk too much about food at all, to be honest with you. Like as far as calories and intake and like we don't do food logs. We don't count anything, points. We don't count. We don't do any of that. So refreshing. What we do is we look at your patterns, we look at your behaviors, we look at your nervous system and the signals that you're sending to your body every single day so that you can stop trying to override your body and finally work with it. So if you're ready for that, go to weightlossforwomenover40.net to learn more. I will leave all the links in the show notes, but you can definitely go directly to the website and find everything that you need in that website, weightlossforwomenover40.net. And if this episode shifted your perspective, please share it with someone who needs to hear it, because the more women who understand how their body actually works, the less we will keep labeling ourselves as the problem. And if you feel so inspired Please leave a written review on Apple in particular or Spotify because that helps boost the algorithm and get this podcast out even further. I know last time I looked, this podcast is in the top 2% worldwide, which I am absolutely thrilled. I would love to see it in the 1%. And the only way that can happen is if you help me out. So if you share it with other people or write reviews, get your friends to write reviews, that would be awesome. And just also as a side note, this year FeedSpot said that the podcast, oh, I forgot, I think it's 11. We're ranked number 11 in the must listen to weight loss podcast for women. So again, I thank you all for listening and sharing and being here every week as I put out a new episode. I'm so glad that people that are getting on my email list, I'm able to interact with them because it's one thing to sit behind a computer and say words and have this podcast go out worldwide, but I like getting to know people. I like to know who you are on the other side listening to this. So if you want to engage, join a program, get on my email list, come visit me on Instagram or on Facebook. And, because I think connection is one of the biggest things that is important in life. And especially as all the AI stuff and the technology stuff and the social media comes out, we kind of lose that connection of humanness. So let's keep it alive, shall we? All right. Have a beautiful day, and I will see you in the next episode. Take care.